There you go.
Oh no! See, it did shut it down. I don't know what I did wrong. Anyway,
It's recording.
So so it's gonna. Oh, just real quick. You hear this music, right?
Yeah.
And your shoot's gonna be up in just a second. You can start scarfing, and then I'll just put everything else out. So I told you about my buddy who wrote down south, who wrote the. And I apologize for the volume. He wrote the theme song for Positively Peninsula, which I have yet to figure out because I'm not the techiest person. I remember how, I asked a bunch of people, like, to get feedback. Some of my sons gave feedback, and he and his wife gave feedback, and my buddy Matt, who had come up to visit, gave feedback. And it was, now I just forgot what the heck I will go off on tangents, by the way. I have no idea what my point was. It's your job to remember these things.
My job? How do you figure?
Because you're the only other person here.
Oh,
I
no.
mean, look, if I can't self-monitor, then, dude, you gotta help me out.
Oh my goodness.
You can't let me flounder like that.
So you were talking about a theme song.
Oh, thank you. Oh gosh, this feels good and warm. Feels really nice and warm. Ooh, I think you're gonna like this soup.
Sweet.
This is the last of my hearty winter soups.
Okay. So moving into spring, huh?
Yeah, moving into like gazpacho type. I know.
It's about time.
I know. I make a mean gazpacho.
Awesome, dude. Heck yeah.
You're running behind me. Yeah. So, just real quick, while I get all this going, and I have your soup, I'm gonna bring it over. And I have the three kinds of salsas. There's a green salsa, a salsa verde, a relatively standard red salsa, but it stands on its own. And then a guacamole salsa.
Amazing.
That's the guacamole that's over there on the table now. I tend to put a lot. I use a lot of salsa. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I tend to spice things up like crazy.
Naturally.
And I figure, with your travels in down south, that you probably enjoy kind of the same type of stuff.
Oh, I love me some spice, man.
So he's the one that gave us that free song.
Okay.
And so that's what it was. It was about the feedback.
Okay.
See, that's what happens. It's just kind of like you just have to take a few breaths, and I'll circle back to it. Hopefully.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So feedback, and it was the fact that. Let's see. Now I don't remember what the fact was. That's the problem. Anyway, they just gave really good feedback. Everybody really liked it. I can't remember what it was, but it'll come to me at some point during the discussion. And I think, so kind of I talked about that I've had to miss a bunch of stuff because I'm sure this will come up. And I don't mind talking about my health. I'm actually a pretty healthy dude.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much. There you go. And that way then the timing will work out. And I just thought it'd be kind of cool to just film everything from start to finish, and might as well use the time that we catch up. And I'm pretty much an open book. And if there's something that, if you don't want to talk about something that I bring up, because we don't stage this, folks. I'm assuming you can see somebody. Who can we see over there? Okay, there you go. Yeah, you'll get to see eating habits too.
Look at this.
Yeah, which is always attractive. So, because I haven't talked to Tucker, so in a sense, it's for everybody, and he's hearing it for the first time. I had a lump, and you know, people my age, I'm 64. I don't mind saying it, but people my age and probably even younger should always check. You know, it's like a woman checking for lumps. You know, and you know, for breast cancer or something like that. If you're a guy, trust me, you should check for lumps that you don't ever notice having before, because it's probably not a good thing. And so that's what happened, and I thought it was like an inflamed lymph node, which kind of made sense to me given its location. And because I know that you have lymph nodes in many places of your body. Not many, but certain parts of your body. And one of the areas is the groin, and that's what I thought it was. I thought, oh, maybe I have like some kind of infection in the white blood cells, or like whoever fights whatever. And so I had my first checkup with my primary care physician, and because I'm new to the area, and basically says, okay, drop your drawers, drop the drawers. He goes, nope, hernia.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, whoa, dude, don't you have to, like you could just tell. And he went with hernia right away.
Okay.
And the ball started rolling real fast. And you drink Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, occasionally.
Oh, I used to be, that was my drink of choice. Yeah, I had to break the habit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Did you used to like the RC Cola?
No. Just, I mean, every month, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months, I'll have a Dr. Pepper.
I know. See if once I opened up that door, it's a dangerous door to open.
Yeah.
It's like like me and Tillamook ice cream or something like that. And
Yeah.
I mean, oh man, damn you. Jeez. And so then he set up a sonogram because he couldn't, and he just wanted to make sure whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then so then I had to hook up with a surgeon, and they found out that that I was due for a colonoscopy,
Okay.
and they felt that I should go ahead and do that first, and see if everything was okay, because everything's kind of crammed in down that area, and I don't know what's hitting what, and I don't know what's next to what. I don't know my anatomy. All I know is that there's pain, and there's something. It just reminds me of that movie Alien. Do you remember that movie Alien, the first one, where the guy's on the table on the ship, and it's right at the very beginning, and somehow the alien baby or whatever it is got into the guy?
Yeah.
Oh man, and he's on the table, and then it it pops out.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's like something's gonna pop out from my, groin, and it's like and then other times, it's like there's nothing there.
Huh.
It's the most bizarre thing. And
Huh.
standing is the worst. This is gonna be hernia 101, by the way, folks. Because I've learned a lot too, and if I had to learn it, damn it, you have to learn it too. And so, and meanwhile, all this stuff is going on around me. It's not like the bath work stops and everything. I'm just like going, oh my god. And then my son tells me, oh yeah, Marie and I are coming out on the 18th. We're gonna be seeing you. And I've never met her, and I think this is the one. And I'm like, so I tell Josh, okay, Josh, you gotta kick into high gear. I gotta have a working nice shower. I can't have bare drywall and studs and stuff like that. Yeah, I can. Come on, exposed plumbing, dude. So it's going to come down to the wire. So the final thing is the door, the glass door. As you saw, it was still that liner crap, which I'll be honest, I just want my home back.
Yeah.
I just want my space back. I mean, he's not a bother at all, and the work doesn't bother me. I just want my house. I mean, when you don't have use of your bathroom, folks, if you only have one bathroom and it's being worked on and you can't go into there for like 8-12 hours at a stretch, it can impact your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's coming to an end because the 18th is fast approaching. So I had my sonogram, it just didn't show much. It probably looked like a Rorschach blob, and then it worried. It didn't concern him, and the surgeon went through like a whole bunch of different types of hernias that he thought it would be, and then he settled on one called a Spigelian hernia, which is evidently some kind of rare hernia. We'll call this the health episode. All about Mark's health. And it's evidently a rare form, and it hits people over 50. I'm like, oh yeah. I qualify for everything at this point. I mean, don't bother with that anymore. And it's also one of the more dangerous ones. I'm like, you know what? There we go. Murphy's Law kicking in again. Thank you, Murphy. You know, if something can go wrong, it'll get worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, great. Couldn't I have like the most common routine hernia? And I always thought hernias like came out of from your stomach. And I guess hernias can come from anywhere. That there's some kind of wall or membrane.
Okay.
And so evidently it's the Spigelian membrane. It sounds like something from like Mars.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a little weird.
Anyway. So I had the colonoscopy, and I don't mind a colonoscopy. Guys out there, get a colonoscopy. It'll be the best rest you've had in your life. It's like sleeping like a baby. I wake up from a colonoscopy feeling so refreshed, and I don't feel invaded whatsoever.
Majority.
I don't know what they give you, but they wheeled me in, and next thing I knew, I was waking up.
Huh.
And the best news is 0 polyps, as opposed to my previous colonoscopy where they did have to remove some polyps. And so I've improved. Just like my vision has improved. I don't get that. I'm Benjamin Buttoning it, which I think is a movie about kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Where yeah.
Anti-aging.
Yeah, I've never seen it because I've heard it's like 3 hours or some god awful thing. Yeah. Hold my attention for 3 hours. Good luck. And so then he ordered a CAT scan, and just today I got a call that he wants to go over. That was just last week. You know, lots happened since I see it. And then I have a session with him, with the surgeon on, and it's the same surgeon that is going to be doing my hernia surgery.
Okay.
That did the colonoscopy, which is great. And I know people probably say, oh, but get a second opinion. Yeah, I get that. I'm smart enough to figure that out. But from all the research that I've gone to reputable, you know, I don't go to Bob's Medicare, you know, .com. I just lost my train of thought again.
So surgery.
Oh, it's the only option.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Thank you. See? Good job. Thank you, bud. Yeah, so surgery's the only option. Every single source I've looked at, from WebMD to the Cleveland Clinic, other, Mayo Clinic, yada, yada, yada. And, that's the only downside, but I believe it's laparoscopic. Is that, I'm not sure what that is, but it's relatively not as invasive, I guess.
Okay.
So I'm assuming my meeting with him is on the 21st. I'm assuming we'll schedule the surgery. Nice April Fool's joke for me.
Yeah.
And then just real quick, I'll get off the health stuff, but everything's fine. It's just uncomfortable. I don't prefer standing if I can help it. Lying down feels the best, So mornings are the worst when you get up from bed because you've been lying, and it's like everything's. I blame gravity, because think about it. Once you stand up, gravity's pulling everything down, and so there's this hernia. It's like, whatever's in there, liver, kidney, gallbladder, they're all like going, hey, we're free falling.
Yeah.
Right onto the hernia. Yay. Let's push you out more.
Yeah.
Let's put Mark into more pain. Anyway. As long as it doesn't burst through the Spigelian membrane, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. And then just the other big news, because I haven't even caught up with you yet, and we have to get food, and we're gonna pause it again, so maybe this will be another 3-parter, because darned if I can figure out how to pause it and just restart. Is my eldest came up last weekend.
Okay.
This last Saturday. Now he came up the previous Saturday also with Reagan and his wife, and so my buddy Matt from down south, my neighbor from down south, was up and had spent the night. He was the one that took me, who picked me up from the colonoscopy because I had to have a driver, and he was so cool to, he just like pulled out a sleeping bag. And I had like sheets and everything for the pull out. So he's like, yeah, this is the guy that runs the rim.
Yeah.
The marathoner.
Yeah.
And he just pulls out a sleeping bag. No fuss, no muss. I was like, man, you're the best guest ever. You wouldn't have known anybody was, and just slept on the couch. I was like, you don't need to sleep now. Anyway, he picked me up. He was nice enough to do that, and so he knew that Zach was coming up, and then he didn't leave, and which is fine. But I got the sense, and my point of this is that I got the sense that Zach wanted to talk to me about something.
Okay.
And so, they only can stay for a couple hours, and they have to turn around and go back. And so they left, and right before they left, he's like, hey Dad, can I come back down next Saturday? Now, he has never been here consecutive Saturdays. So it kind of like piques my interest. I'm like, And so he comes Saturday. I'm like, hey, the more times you come up, the merrier, the better. But I also thought it was odd. And they just got a new car. They got a Kia, has a highfalutin name, Telluride.
Okay.
Very nice. But it's not and they bought it, and they normally lease. So I'm thinking maybe they're having financial issues. I don't know. I don't butt into my kid's business. And I thought he maybe wanted to talk to me. So when he comes up, and I'm preparing lunch for him, and I said, so how you been? I said, how are things? And I thought maybe, but then I thought, but that's an expensive car they got, and he's smart. He wouldn't make that kind of purchase if he was having financial trouble. But I just didn't know what else it could be. So he said, this is the cliffhanger. Dad, Reagan and I are moving back east.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So you're one of the first to hear that. You guys are all second, third, and so on.
Wow.
I know, I've got to call Matt, I've got to call Mark and Kathy, they know Zach. Those are my friends from down south.
You bummed out?
It's interesting. He just kept saying, Dad, I might get emotional, folks, so we may not talk about it too much right now, just at this moment, but I just want to make you aware of it. But he's so funny. He's like, I was really worried about telling you, Dad, this type of thing. And so, but you know what? What's really, and I always look for a silver lining. This is why it's called Positively Peninsular. And he was very pleased on how I took it, because I think most people my generation would have gone psychoballistic or blah blah blah, or guilted them into blah blah blah, whatever. It's not my life. It's not, he's got to take his own path. He's got to take his own journey. And, and I'm not I can't be a tag along dad, and that's just not my style. And he's just like, I really appreciate that you took it so well. I said, you seem really surprised that I took it so well. And I said, the silver lining though is, because he did then expound, and he said he was able to keep his job in Portland. Now I just let Portland out back. Anyway, And so he's going to be doing that from New York, and he's going to come back to Seattle once a month and stay with me. And yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And so it'll, it won't be necessarily weekends because it'll be, I guess, he'll try to marry work.
Okay.
So I think that's the silver lining,
Okay.
right there.
Huh. I wonder why they're headed back to the East Coast.
He said, well, I mean, both their families. I mean, all his mom's side is all back there, and then all of hers is back there. My younger one is in Brooklyn. She's from the Bronx, my daughter-in-law.
Okay.
He went, both boys, from the age of like 4 or 5, lived in New York. He said, he had a lot of nostalgia. He said, Dad, you always knew that you wanted to retire. That you always knew you were going to come out, back to the PNW. That's Pacific Northwest. If you haven't figured that out now, between Portland, Seattle, etc. He said, you were just nostalgic. And I said, fair enough. I can't fault you for that. I'm not gonna, yeah, I can't argue with that. What am I gonna do? And, it was really cute. It was cute. He wouldn't like me using that word, but it was cute because you could see that he had put a lot of thought into how to couch his words, and also the foresight that he had to make sure that he had some kind of plan in place, to visit it, just to kind of take the sting out, which is like really thoughtful, But hey, I got other friends, right? Yeah. I thought you were gonna be my substitute. Yeah. I'd be a lot younger if you were my son, because you're a lot younger than my son.
Yeah.
You're 6 years younger. Yeah, I'd be in my late 50s.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna end it there. Gotta get to Taco Wednesday, and we may or may not come back on. If not, Tucker, Mark, folks out here at Positively Peninsula, we'll probably come on for a short thing because we got to get caught up with you, actually, dude.
Yeah.
But we got to get some fuel for the fire.
Get some fuel.
Yeah. All right. And you can just put the bowl in the thingamabobber. All right. Peace out. We'll probably get a different angle. Whatever. All right. All right. See you, folks.